Hello and welcome back to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I don't know why I put so many spaces in between the words I was trying to find. Hi, I'm Jen.
Well, we are
welcome back.
Yeah, we were absent last week. Both of us had head colds, and we did not sound too good.
Sniffly.
Yeah, we didn't sound too good on the microphone.
So we stayed in bed and snuggled with Sully instead.
Yeah, took the week off, but we are back. And
we're going to jump in.
Yeah, today's podcast comes from social media. So my buddy posted something online the other day, and the comments that went in the section were honestly pretty fascinating.
It was quite the social experiment.
Yeah. So the post, it was a picture of a U.S. senator, and I'm gonna paraphrase this, but the caption that it was basically a quote of that U.S. senator was, "Capital gain shouldn't exist." He said, "I risk my money. I build the business. I make the investment. I do the work. I take the risk. So why the hell does the government get to take a piece of my success?" They risk nothing. They create nothing. They just take, and they're parasites. And that was what it was. And the comments, it split immediately. You know, there were some people were definitely agreeing, and then there were others.
The entrepreneurs were.
Yeah. The others were saying, well, they should pay their fair share, or they're just greedy, or they're taking advantage of people. And it made me realize something while I was reading through it. Most people that are doing commenting have never actually been in the arena. Have never been in the arena. They've never risked their own money. They have never had sleepless nights trying to make payroll. They've never sold personal things to keep the business alive. And they've never personally signed on debt. They've never worried what happens if this fails. And this isn't me being political either way. It's just interesting because people have a very, very, very strong opinion about arenas that they've actually never stepped into.
It doesn't just happen in business, though.
No.
This happens in fitness.
Yep.
I'm sure someone, as I'm describing this, will come to mind, right? Everyone has an opinion. What people should eat, what you should eat, how you should train, what's healthy at the moment, what works. But most people never actually commit long enough to experience the transformation themselves.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a few people right now.
Well, when we started talking about this topic, it got me thinking, how do we wrap this around an episode? Because I knew there was going to be some nuggets in here. Mm-hmm. And it was something that John, one of our mentors, said to us a long time ago. He said there's really three types of people. There's the spectator, there's the cheerleader, and then there's the person in the arena. See, the spectator, I want to hit on that one first. It sits in the stands, thinking like a football game. They sit in the stands and they critique everything. They always know what should have happened, who should have done what, who should have been playing, why something won't work.
So it's like the expert we had at the Royals game.
Yeah.
He was an expert, guys.
Yeah, we just went to a Royals game, so maybe that's why this is all tying together for us. This guy was an expert, although he was
not an expert. He was an ass.
He's an ass. 100 pounds overweight. He couldn't even step foot on a pee-wee, baseball field.
Yeah, anyway.
All right, but these are the people that actually aren't doing anything themselves. And look, we all know these people. You've been to a baseball game. We all know these people. But investing, it's, every deal looks risky. The interest rates are too high. Every market is too expensive right now. Every opportunity has a reason not to move. There's always a reason not to get into the arena. And they'll spend years analyzing, and they never participate. They just never, ever participate.
Yeah.
And fitness is the exact same, like you said.
100%, right? People criticize someone's workout, someone's food choices, medications, supplements, transformations. Meanwhile, they haven't consistently taken care of themselves in years, right? Yeah. Like, I love people that are like, you shouldn't take supplements, as they're like downing a shot of alcohol. Like, shut up.
Yeah, it's easy to criticize risk when you've never taken any. And that's kind of the point. You've heard me say that twice almost now. And here's what I've learned. Spectators usually sound the smartest because they've never had to test their opinions against reality.
Yeah. Nut up or shut up. No, don't. I can say that. Don't say that.
All right, let's move to the second one. Spectators, let's do cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders, because, okay, honestly, this one's harder to recognize, right? Because they're positive. They're outgoing. They're supportive. They're encouraging. Now, I'm not shitting on cheerleaders. Girls, you know I love you. My cheerleaders. I'm talking about the ones that say things like, that's amazing. Oh my God, you inspire me. I need to do that someday. I wish I had that resolve. I wish I could be like that.
But you're doing so great. You're
doing
positive.
so great, but someday never comes. I see this when you're investing a ton too, right? Like anytime you post, people will watch, like deals happen, properties are succeeding, wealth compounds, and they yes, Matt, that's great. Keep winning, but they never move. And then years later, they say, man, I wish I would have gotten involved in that earlier. Man, I wish I would have done that when we could have. I want to be clear. I love a good cheerleader. I really do. We need them. But you can't be the cheerleader in all areas of your life when the game is going on right in front of you.
You know, before we go to the next one, this brings up something that I've been thinking about. You know, you've had a lot of cheerleaders who've been getting in the game with you lately.
Yes.
So Jen and I go to dinner every single night together, and that's where we break our day down. That's where we catch up on what happened, and I've been hearing this common theme over the last 2 or 3 weeks at dinner with her. See, most of you all know this, but Jen has been in fitness and health for 20 plus years, consistent, every day, every week, every year. And when you do that for 20 plus years, a couple things do happen. Number one, you get really freaking good at what you're doing, no matter what it is. You do something for 20 years every single day, you get really, really, really good. You learn to cut through the hype. You learn to cut through the fads. You cut through all that bullshit, and you become an expert. The second thing is you build up a lot of trust with people when you've been doing something for that long. People trust you. You are the expert, like I said. Aww. And where I'm going with this is we're seeing something right now in society that I don't know if I've ever seen, and maybe Jen has, but we're seeing something where a lot of the people who are cheerleaders are starting to realize, and I'm talking about in fitness, because I'm recapping what Jen tells me at night. In fitness, a lot of the cheerleaders are starting to say, hey, there's something out there that may help me take that first step to get into the game. And people are seeing a lot of messaging around hormone therapy, around GLPs, around peptides, all of it. And they're seeing all this message. They're getting inundated with it. And they're starting to see, hey, this could be something that could help me. Not the magic pill, but it could help me get over that hump. Help me get away from what I've been looking at in the mirror for so long. So going back to my point, I hear this same story, a different version, usually each night. But I'm hearing this from Jen each night when we talk about it. Jen says, hey, I had a consultation with this person today. And they said, hey, I'm very interested in some of the things you've been talking about, some type of hormone therapy or peptides. And they're seeing it everywhere, but they're smart enough to know, at least the ones coming to you, they're smart enough to know that they also need a fitness program and they need some nutrition. They need some help beyond just that. And then they're telling Jen, hey, I've been watching you for years. I've been following you for years, at 20 plus years. And I trust you and I'm ready to get started. I hear some type of thing from the people who've been cheerleaders for her for 20 years are starting to say this and starting to say, hey, I'm ready to get into the arena.
Yeah, those conversations make me feel good. And I'm not looking for lip service. Let's just get that right out there. I'm not looking for validation. I'm looking to change some lives very quickly. But because I've had it in the other direction too, right? Like I had a client blindly walk into peptides down the street, not down the street. You know what I'm trying to say, and didn't have a good support system set yet, or at least one that she thought would support her. And she had a really bad experience. She got super sick, and she didn't want to tell me because she thought I would get mad. That support could have been there had I known. Like we could have completely avoided this situation. Not if she bought from me. I don't care. But had I known, I would have been like, oh my God, we got to do this immediately. Because if you don't, you're going to feel like shit. right? But the trust statements are coming from everyone, not just the people who are cheerleaders, right? They're ready to get in the game. Like one of my long-term clients, the minute we launched, was like, you are the only person I trust with this kind of information because I know you will tell me the blatant and honest truth. Accurate statement, right? And that is why I invested with the network of doctors and pharmacies that I did. We vetted a lot. Yeah. A lot. Why? Because I know you trust, right? I truly believe in hormone therapy. I truly believe in peptides. But I was seeing so many people doing it in a not so trusted way, right? One of those where I'm like, ooh, this makes me feel yucky. I don't want to be involved with this. I don't know about that. Here's what I do know. And I felt like this is my arena. And I absolutely had to find a solution for the people that are in my orbit.
Yeah. And I'm sorry I got us off on a tangent. I think the whole point was it made me think that, you know, if you're in the stands and you're a spectator, you got to do a little bit of work. But if you're a cheerleader, you could make that quick jump into the arena.
Yeah.
And that's why I told that story. But it's a good lead into the next one. The next one is that person that is in the arena. The one that's taking the risks, the one that's making the investment, the one who's changing their life, the one that is stepping into the business or stepping into discomfort. That's a big one, stepping into discomfort. Mm-hmm. That can involve a relationship, that can involve a business, that can involve health. It could be anything. And here's what's really interesting about this is they don't always win immediately. Just because you step in the arena doesn't mean you always win immediately. But the ones who do are the ones who actually grow. And that's what the arena is about. Because movement actually changes you.
I'm going to go back to what I said. I have you made a huge point, but my little off-color remark, the nut up or shut up, right? Well, those that are in the arena have nut up and they don't need to talk about it, right? Like, because once you're actually in the arena, you develop things that spectators never will. And it's that awareness, like confidence, resilience, discipline, awareness. It's that awareness that becomes so innate. It's like, oh, I don't need to join the peanut gallery. I'm good. I'm on stage, guys. We're good, right? The awareness is so surreal. And we've felt it for years.
Yep.
Right? Once you are acutely aware of this, you can sense the spectators and the cheerleaders. Isn't that funny? Like somebody starts talking fitness and wellness at night and I just shut up immediately. Because like, okay, yeah, tell me, tell me what to do. Oh, expert, please. It's not me trying to be a dick. It's just that my results speak for themselves. My clients speak for themselves. And that awareness is huge because you know what works every time. And I'll tell you, one of my clients recently realized that she was the one in the arena, right? She's been doing this a while and the foundations were set so much that she can feel how others are watching. So much so that when the armchair quarterback started coming out of the woodwork, she was saying like, look, I'm not the expert, but my coach has been preaching this for years. And I just stopped fighting and sabotaging it. And that's the thing. Like the transformation is never just physical. The person in the arena changes.
Yeah. Yeah. And in the arena, when we're talking about the arena, you know, it could be around any subject, but it's about getting in the game. Getting off the sideline, no matter if you're the spectator or the cheerleader, because there's a good chance that you're listening to people. I mean, this is why I'm so passionate about this topic, is because there's a good chance that you're listening to people give you advice on something you should or shouldn't do who've never stepped into the arena. And those are the people you got to get away from. You've got to go find that mentor that has done what you want to do. And you got to start asking questions to them. You got to start going to them. That's why I hire so many coaches and business coaches, because they're in the arena. They're in the arena that I want to get into. Yeah. And I think what people miss is it's different for everyone. The arena is not the same for everyone. For some people, it is investing. You know, it's for others, it's fitness. And for others, it's finally having a hard conversation, getting into the game, starting the business, changing their habits, taking ownership, whatever it is. But the patterns are always the same. The arena is not the same, but the patterns are always the same. The people who change their lives eventually stop watching from the stands. They get into the game. But I get that sitting in the stands is
it's easier.
It's easier.
It's cheaper.
It's all those things, you know. And if you've ever tried to lose weight and you haven't been able to, or maybe you've lost some weight and it's come back on, or maybe you failed at a business or a relationship, I think everyone that fits into those categories that's listening right now. I know we do too. Mm-hmm. And if you've been listening to us for a while, you've heard this story, but I want you to listen to it from a different mindset, maybe a different frame of going back to that time that you put the weight back on or whatever it was, and there's something that didn't work out. So the Cliff Notes version is we had a business 8 years ago that was losing a significant amount of money. And we had some people in our team that were in the stands, and they were on the team. You know, we signed our names to those loans. We signed our names to those leases. We thought they were fans. Yeah. I said it earlier, Sunday night, trying to figure out how you're going to make payroll next week. We had all that going on, and they criticized everything that we were doing. In fact, side note, one of those critics pulled me aside years ago and said, hey, you know, it's summertime. Have you gotten out on your motorcycle yet? And I had to tell that team member, no, I had to sell that motorcycle. Well, why'd you sell it? Well, we had to sell it to pay rent. You know, that goes back to that. I started at the beginning, people who've never had to sell something to pay payroll. Why we had to do that to pay rent. And
that was the worst. I still see that rolling away.
Yeah.
God, that rips my guts out.
But we were in the arena. We were in the fucking arena, and we were getting bloodied. And sometimes you get bloodied in the arena. That's what happens. That's why they call it an arena. Like many of you, things were not working out. But we got through it. And we did get through it. And we worked things out. My point of this is once we worked through that, Jen started to build our online company. And I initially stayed on the sidelines because I was afraid to put myself out there. I was afraid to put myself out on podcasts and social media. You know, I was scared to do that. And we hired a coach, and she gave me no options. She made me push myself out there, and she made me move. And when I moved,
she posted for you. You're like, shit.
Yeah, that's the truth. She actually was in my social media. I mean, she had access to it. She made a couple posts for me. So of my stuff, but I was like, oh shit. There's a video of me. Doing it. Yeah. But here's the point of this whole story. What I realized was I was a different person. See, when you get into the arena and you get bloodied and you get smacked in the face and you fail, you become a different person. Sometimes there's a reason you get smacked in the face. It's to prepare you for that next thing so that you're ready for it, that next bigger thing. And it creates a new identity. If you're sitting in the stands or you're a cheerleader, you never grow. It's about getting in the game, getting smacked around a little bit and learning and changing your identity. That new identity led me to get out there with fitness, which then led me to feel comfortable talking about real estate and getting into real estate. My whole point is wherever you're at right now, I've said this a couple of times, whether you're a cheerleader or you're in the stands, whatever you're afraid of, you need to realize that you're no longer that person. When you cause that accident to happen or whatever it was that you're afraid of, you are no longer that person, and you need to get out of the stands. You need to quit being a cheerleader. You need to get in the game, whatever it is. I
think the progression of you getting back into the arena and getting bloodied and getting into real estate, even a couple of, not necessarily failures, but those no's in real estate,
yeah.
Like you are so much more resilient now. Like the negatives are so like minuscule compared to like how fast you've been able to take off because of that. I don't want to say that muscle memory, but like failure's feedback. Go, keep going, like even faster. See, most people spend their lives watching, commenting, observing without fully ever stepping into their own potential. They don't know how hard they can get smacked in the face and still get back up.
Yeah. And look, being in the arena doesn't mean you always win. You know, my story just proved that. You may not win that battle, but it does mean you grow, you learn, and you evolve. That's what that means. And eventually you build a life that spectators will never understand. And it goes back to the social media post.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
The people in the comment section will never understand what it's like to be in the fucking arena. So at some point you have to decide. Do you want to watch? Do you want to comment? Do you want to critique? Or do you want to actually get into that arena? You know, I think we're about at time right now, and I want to wrap. It's been a little bit more of a serious one, but I take this very seriously because I hope today what our message was, whatever it is that you have been sitting on the sidelines, whatever part of that life is that you've been avoiding, I hope that this message encourages you. It's time to get in the game, whatever it is.
Love it. Let's wrap it. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed today. I hope you got some great benefit and value. If you did, please share it with someone you think will also find benefit and value. Give us a 5-star review, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Say hi sometimes. And with that,
We'll see you next week.